He's done it. The Michigan goal in the first period. For the Williams. Run. Pelfy scores. Pelfy. It's it.
And welcome back to Bull Spittin' with Derik Clark as I slowly adjust the gain of this microphone. This microphone is pretty unique. I like it so much. But anyway, welcome back. I don't know why I'm nagging here about the microphone. Anyway, not important. Welcome back to Bull Spittin' with Derik Clark. My name is always Derik Clark, and aka Clarky, as I sometimes introduce myself. Welcome to episode 3 of the podcast. Eventually, I will lose track and not even tell you what episode it is, but welcome back. Man, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has definitely been listening and participating and doing everything and liking and commenting and sharing. It's been fun doing the first 2 episodes. It's been a while. It's been a week since the last episode, and we've had a week of sports. We've had a week of craziness, and we're going to get right into it. First things first, we have an NBA champion. Prior podcast, we didn't even talk about that we could have the champion while the podcast was waiting for the next release, because I thought we were going to see more than 5 games in the NBA Finals. We did not. A 4-1 win. 4 wins over 1 win. Boston Celtics over the Dallas Mavericks. This was not the Mavericks final. I hate to say it because I'm a Mavericks fan, but it is what it is. So we have a championship anyway in 2011. So, I mean, it is what it is, but it would be nice to, of course, see another championship because, you want to win every year. But I'll tell you what, it definitely was not the year for the Dallas Mavericks. The Celtics had all over them, and I think the Dallas Mavericks beat them in Game 4 because they just had that little upper edge being at home. Go back to Boston. Boston kicked some butt. There was a lot of people at that Boston Celtics parade as well. Yeah, not a lot to add on to that other than cool. I guess I don't know what else to say. I think I told this in the first episode of this podcast. Me as a basketball guy is definitely not a good idea to yap about basketball because I only know really, I growing up I didn't watch a lot. So at 19 years old here, I don't know what to yap about other than the Celtics kick some butt. They deserve that title. Congrats to the Boston Celtics. We move on to the hockey side. The NHL Stanley Cup playoffs are still cooking. This is my realm, hockey realm. A 3-0 series lead for the Florida Panthers. 1 win away in Game 4. They blew Game 4. They blow Game 5. And they blow Game 6 away. The Edmonton Oilers win 3 consecutive times in a row. They're only the 3rd NHL franchise in Stanley Cup final history to do so. The first team was the 1942 Toronto Maple Leafs. They ended up winning 4 consecutive times and winning 4 games to 3 in 1942. The second team was in 1945. That was the Detroit Red Wings. They lost Game 7. Now we're in the 3rd round, and a lot of people are saying, hey, a Canadian team did it. A U.S. team didn't do it. They didn't win Game 7 after coming back for a 3-0 deficit, but a Canadian team won Game 7, so this might be another Canadian team thing. And Canada might see their first Stanley Cup since 1993, and Edmonton might see their first since 1990. But here's the flip side. Here's another thing going Edmonton's way. Statistically, the last 3 Game 7s, the away team won. But I'll also add another statistic into this. Anything can happen. So I don't like talking about statistic numbers a lot, but I will say that it is what it is. And we will definitely see what comes out of that realm of what's going to happen tomorrow on Monday when this podcast gets posted. It's in Sunrise, Florida. There's a lot of things going on here in this final. For the people that haven't been watching, it's just not the hockey on the ice. It's been a physical final as well as some massive hits. But the people in the stands have also been a story since Game 1. Florida being this U.S. versus Canada almost in the final. You have a Canadian team versus a U.S. team. So Florida given a little heckle in Games 1, 2, and 5. They heckled a little bit towards the the Canadian in Edmonton, all the Canadians, oh, Canada, boo, while prior to the Canadian anthem, and then a little bit during, and yes, it's disrespectful, and I don't disagree. I'll give you a little bit of my side, if you will. We go to Game 5, 3 and 4. There wasn't a lot of words being thrown from Edmonton, but Game 5 is when Canada started lighting up that side. They're kind of like, Sergei Bobrovsky plays on he's goaltender for the Florida Panthers. He's like, oh, while the U.S. national anthem is going on, they're, getting a little bit into Sergei's head. And to me, a lot of people say, oh, this is disrespectful, to do that to both national anthems while they're playing. And yes, but I will say, someone who's been around sports, I've heard people talk while national anthems are going. So I don't know how to react to that. But what I will say is this. Okay, yeah, they're heckling the other team. Let's put it in this way. But they're heckling the other team there. Okay, yeah. They're heckling the other team. Okay, cool. Think of it this way. Canada and U.S. are very tight people. We here in the U.S., we love Canada. Canada loves us. Now, I know there's some people like, oh, USA, boo, in Canada. But I will be, honest that we do. There's a reason why our two countries have been aligned for a while. And I don't want to get political here, but it's true. We like each other in a way. And then you pick, oh, you're from Canada, you say a lot. Oh, you drink milk from a bag, or like, that's a real thing, by the way, in Canada. And you say some stuff like that. So to me, it's kind of like a family rivalry, or, no, not family. Like you and your best buddy picking on each other, but in reality, you have each other's back if stuff were to hit the fan. So that's my side of the story, my side of my thinking process. I don't know about you guys listening back at home, but that is my thought process through all of that. Now, keeping in the hockey world, the Las Vegas, oh my God, I'm stupid. The LA Kings, my bad. The Los Angeles Kings released that logo that I actually brought up in one of my shorts / TikToks that I post here on YouTube / TikTok. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. So they brought back the crown from when they were in purple and yellow, their original colors, by the way. And they put that in the Kings text logo from the 90s when they first switched back, or first switched from gold and yellow to that, or purple and yellow, purple and gold, whatever you want to call it, to the black and silver. So you guys can look it up. It's pretty nice. They added that older, but it's black and silver still. Those are the colors for the Kings. And it's just a modern version of the text. Ducks-wise, they leaked the jersey. And I made a TikTok / short posted on YouTube as well. Go check those out if you haven't. And by the way, there will be a lot more shorts. I only posted that one this week because some stuff has been going on through the family-wise. Don't like to be adding onto that podcast, but some stuff has happened. I got a tooth pulled, so that was a little bit of a problem. I'll be honest with you. The old broadcaster had to do get a little tooth surgery, and I only was able to upload one while that was going on. But anyway, the Ducks haven't released their new logo / jerseys because, and neither have the Kings. So the Kings haven't released the jerseys, but they've released the logo, and the Ducks haven't released the logo or the jerseys. It's speculated that both jerseys will be seen on June 28th when the NHL draft, first round, when they make their first picks. Those are the jerseys they will wear, but we will see. We will see, probably. Utah revealed their jerseys. I brought that up last podcast, I think. So we'll see those jerseys at the draft as well. I think I brought that up in the last podcast. I don't even remember when Utah released their jersey. Not important. Utah HC, the formerly known Arizona Coyotes, who won't get a name till next season. Their inaugural season in Utah. They are the Utah Hockey Club. They will be wearing these black, light blue, and white jerseys. I think I talked about it. So we will see those jerseys as well for the first time. So we'll have 3 jerseys to look out for at the draft. So it will be interesting, nonetheless. By the way, NHL Draft is on, first round is on ESPN, 7 p.m. Eastern on June 28th. The following rounds start at 11 a.m. on ESPN Plus. This is not a sponsor, just in case you wanted to watch that. And Monday, when this is posted, if you don't know what time the Game 7 is, it's 8 p.m. just like always, and on ABC between the Oilers and the Panthers. Now, out of the hockey world, we go into the football world. Julian Edelman, jeez, I can't even speak right. Julian Edelman had some unique words towards Aaron Rodgers. Today, actually, he said that Aaron Rodgers was not at the mandatory mini camps that the Jets had. Julian Edmonton's response, I'll basically sum it up. Basically, he said that's not how a leader should be. He said it a lot fancier, but basically, that's not how a leader should be, considering Aaron Rodgers is the captain. Julian Edelman, he used to play for the Patriots. He's now retired. He's not wrong. I'm 100% with him. But Aaron Rodgers is a unique guy. This is the same quarterback that had all that vaccine thing with COVID, and he's into that. He's into the weird medication side. He's a UFO believer. He's all this conspiracy stuff. So he's a unique guy as a quarterback. So I don't know what he was doing during mandatory minicamps and why he wasn't there. Who knows? I mean, this is the same guy that the Jets signed to get him on the field, and he, had an injury 3 plays in. So, I mean, if that doesn't happen, the Jets could be a different story. But who knows? We don't. We'll find out. It's crazy. Yeah. So, we'll figure out there. A little bit more football news. It's not crazy foot. I don't know how to word that. You know what? I'm just gonna roll with what I want to say here. A little bit more of football news. I wanted to bring these up because I didn't bring it up last podcast. This is the other segment. So I think I brought up the Vikings. I mean, not the Ravens. The Ravens actually brought back their screaming, Raven logo. I guess I don't know if I want to call it screaming. But they brought it back. It's a purple helmet now. It's going to be on the side of a purple helmet. They're going to wear that purple helmet one game. And the Minnesota Vikings 2-3 weeks ago revealed white jerseys. The reason I want to talk about this is because now with this rule now, this third jersey rule, you can have a helmet that goes with your third jerseys. And we're seeing a lot of different helmets. I mean, a lot of helmets. You can have 3 helmets now. So I mean, you look at the Texans, and the Texans have the bull logo, the H logo, and then a red helmet. The Vikings now have a purple helmet and a white helmet with that purple throwback Viking helmet. I think they still rock that. Now you get the Ravens involved. They have their black helmet. Now they have this purple helmet. The Saints have that black, or their normal black, and then they have like or their gold, I'm sorry. And then now they have a black helmet. The Patriots have brought back their white with the red with the former Patriots logo, where it's like the dude's hiking a football. So, I mean, we've seen a lot. This is my petition to the 49ers to bring back the jumping 49er gold miner with the revolvers. I love that logo. That needs to be on the side of a freaking football helmet. Please put that on the side of a helmet. 49ers, if you want to do something cool, you blew the Super Bowl, so bring that logo. Be nice to see. Just my little spiel there for the jerseys. Another thing for jerseys, I guess. You know what? I'm not even gonna say jerseys. This is completely different. We're getting. It's not jerseys. It's fire suits. Brad Keselowski. We're going into motorsports here. We're going into NASCAR. Sonoma. He had a Minions car. Or I'm sorry, Iowa. Iowa. Not Sonoma, Iowa. Iowa, he had a Minions car, and his fire suit and his whole crew, they had like a Minion fire suit, so their fire suit was yellow, and it looks like they had blue suspenders. This week, he was sponsored by the Boston Red Sox. I believe it is their Boston Red Sox museum that technically was sponsoring him, but it was the team in general. So his fire suit, so it was a white car with a little bit of red, and the numbers were like the jersey font, and the fire suit looked like a baseball jersey. So, I mean, why not? I don't know why Brad Keselowski's getting the fire reps with the combo of the fire suits, like awesome fire suit combo. But we need more of this in NASCAR, so I'd really like to see that. Motorsports wise, we keep on rolling here on the motorsports side. Christopher Bell sweeps the weekend in New Hampshire. How about this one? He raced the Xfinity Series race, won that. He ran the Xfinity Series race just to get some experience. For people that don't know, Christopher Bell is a NASCAR Cup Series full-time driver. He drives the Xfinity Series. It was his one-time drive in New Hampshire to understand the track. He won the Cup Series race last year. Wanted to see if there was anything different. Wins the Xfinity race on Saturday. Sunday, a little bit of a different story. They get way past the halfway point. There's 82 to go. Starts raining. They put the cars to the side. Put slicks on. This is unique. This is a unique situation here. I gotta slow down this to get you fully experienced. In F1, they can run in the rain. The reason NASCAR can't is because they have a windshield. And because they go so fast in the oval, they can't use a windshield wiper because then it would just be a problem. But they have tires known as rain tires. What's different than the wets that F1 uses? F1, they can run on standing water. Okay? And while it's raining. NASCAR can only run on standing water, and not a lot of it. They used it before a race even started. And with the way these tires are, eventually the rain gets off the track so they can then go back to slicks. Middle of a race, we're past the halfway point. In the rules of NASCAR, if we're past the halfway point, NASCAR could deem it stoppage. They waited it out. 2-hour wait. Waited out. I think the official time was 2 hour, 15 minute. Crazy wait. Somehow, some reason, NASCAR goes, screw it, wait it out. They did. Wait it out. Unique situation occurs. NASCAR goes, oh my God, we've only put these tires on before the start of a race. And it's happened twice. We haven't done it in the middle. They go, okay, we're going to do a standstill stop, let you change tires. Nobody's going to lose their position. Just to be fair. They do that. 82 to go, goes down to like 78 because they do a couple caution laps, and Kyle Busch like wrecks while under caution because I think his steering snapped. Don't quote me on that. Something snapped in his steering or something. Don't quote me on that, Kyle Busch. He might come out and get me, but something broke. Hits the wall under caution. Don't see that a lot. So a little bit more. So we're starting at like 74 to go. Green flag drops. And something unique happens. These rain tires don't get the rain off the track completely. Unique situation occurs. Caution comes out. They say you can't change your tires. People come down to pit. They're like, you can't change your tires right now. Because there is just a weird moment on pit road where like they don't know what to do. Because it's so different. No team's experienced it. So what's ended up happening, we don't even have green flag pit stops. These caution pit stops are just getting weird and weirder and weirder to the point where they could not go to slicks anymore. They had to keep the rain tires for the remainder of the race, and they were doing caution pit stops where you didn't lose your position, and it was so weird. So weird. But I think NASCAR, what had happened was, think of it this way. Eventually we're going to get to the point where they have to use these for the remainder of a race, and now they could do that competitive stops. But here's the thing. This was the test race, in my opinion, for this situation. In my opinion, this was the test race. So, I don't know what the exact dynamics, I guess, would be the word. I don't know the exact dynamics around this. But anyway, Christopher Bell kicks some butt, goes past some couple guys, including Tyler Reddick, gets the win, even though Tyler Reddick was leading while under the rain delay. Wished it rained out for that win. Not going to happen. Christopher Bell takes the checkered flag and wins the second time in a row. The trophy, by the way, is a real lobster, big real lobster. You don't like lobsters. It is what it is. And that would conclude NASCAR side. Early this morning, F1 hit the track in Barcelona. That's Spain for the people that don't know. Lando Norris started on pole with none other than Max Verstappen, of course. Next to him, lights out, away we go. And George Russell out of nowhere comes on the wrong side, and George Russell takes the lead. And Norris ended up actually still finishing second. Lewis Hamilton finished third. His teammate George Russell, who was, remember, took the lead off the start, finished fourth. The winner was Max Verstappen. He has 61 wins since 2018 with Lewis Hamilton. He has more wins than Lewis Hamilton since their weird rivalry in 2018. 61 wins, Lewis Hamilton 60, yada, yada, yada. Max Verstappen wins again. F1 is the series that Max is going to win every race. If Max doesn't win, I celebrate. And it's crazy because I have a Max shirt. I love Max. I think Max is cool. But one thing I will say is there's some guys out there that definitely deserve to drive. It's weird. F1's more about the car than it is the driver. It's a whole thing. So there's some guys out there that can drive, I think. They just don't get the opportunity in a weird way. But it is what it is. Another thing, in the motorsports world, IndyCar, I didn't get to see it. So, I don't know who won. And that's IndyCar. Done deal. That's IndyCar. Next, I guess, would be the words. I would look it up right now, but my phone's charging. So, shout out to the winner of the IndyCar race. Now, we're going to go into the baseball world for a split second. Just for a split second. Because we need to discuss something that, and I'm going to make a short about this that's going to go into detail a little bit more. You want to check out that short, and that short will lead back to this podcast. So, hi, everyone that came from the short/TikTok. Welcome to the podcast. Timestamp for that, by the way. I will leave timestamps, I guess. I'll have to. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with timestamps. We're not important. Not important. So, welcome. Anyway, the MLB is wanting to expand. Here's the problem. There's not that many options. And what I mean by that is they're already in the 30 cities they need to be. They have 30 teams. I'm sorry, not even 30 cities, but they have 30 teams, and they have New York City checked off their list. They have Houston, Dallas, technically Arlington, but not important. Both checked off the list. They have a team in Cincinnati. They have a team in Cleveland. They have a team in LA. They have two teams in LA. They have a team in Oakland, which will be playing in Sacramento for 3 years, and then to Las Vegas, which is the weirdest thing with the Athletics. They have a team in San Diego, California. They have a team in Tampa Bay, Florida. They have a team in Atlanta, Georgia. They have teams all over the place. They have teams in the cities they need to be in to pretty much save the best. They have a team in Miami. They have a team in Seattle. They have teams where they need to have teams. They want to expand. They've been wanting to expand for so long. It's been rumored for years. I'm talking 2018 was rumors. There's so much rumors around. Prior to that even, there's been so many rumors on where the league should expand. But they haven't made a stride. It's because they're stuck. And let me explain why. Right now, there is one city that they should expand to that they can't expand to. And that it's the only city that has the popularity for baseball. It's a city with 22 million people in it, but there is a major problem. There's technically two, but one's minor. And that city isn't even in the U.S. And no, we're not talking about Montreal. We're talking about Mexico City, Mexico. The MLB already plays in Mexico City, Mexico, in the Mexico City series. The stadium they play in is only 20,000, which would make it the smallest MLB stadium. But with the A's going to Sacramento for 3 years, their stadium is reportedly only 10,500, roughly. So technically, they'd be the second to last. But here's the thing. That doesn't really matter, because if you were to, there's MLB teams that get 18,000 a night. So, I mean, doesn't really matter. You could just feel that 75 to 80%, you're chilling. It's Mexico City, Mexico, though, and this is the major problem that the MLB has. With Mexico City, Mexico being the only city that they can expand to in the aspect of there's fans there, there's the right amount of people there, there's a stadium there, it might be small, but there's a stadium. It's disposable income. Now, the amount of pesos per month the average person in Mexico City, Mexico makes, it's roughly only 400 to 500 US. That they don't have disposable income like in the US. In the US, people have disposable income to buy tickets, buy food, buy merchandise at a game. Not in Mexico City, Mexico. There might be people. I'm not saying there isn't people, because obviously people go to the games when they have the series, the Mexico City series, which I think they play 2-3 games in Mexico City. Don't quote me on that. But that's 2 or 3 games. Imagine if it's an 81 home games. Like, it's completely a different story. But there's one other city that I think can work. And it's a little weird. So, this is where we're going to go back to Salt Lake City, Utah. Home of the Utah Jazz and now the Utah HC, which hopefully I get Utah Yeti. I voted for Utah Yeti in the voting process, and I swear I hope they get that win. Salt Lake City, Utah is where we should really talk about when it comes to MLB expansion, because they're already in the plans to do a unique thing in Salt Lake City, Utah. And their agreement, the Utah HC, their arena, the Delta Center, when converted for hockey, it will only sit roughly 12,000, meaning it will, ironically, the Arizona Coyotes relocated to Utah and will still play in the smallest arena in the NHL. For the people who don't know, Arizona Coyotes played in a college arena, only sitting 5,000 for 3 years. It was a weird story. Not important. So here's the thing. Utah HC playing 12,000 seater. Okay, Delta Center's old. So they get this agreement in. Salt Lake City is voting on it. I don't know if it's going to, it most likely is going to pass, because it's a great deal. It's going to make a new arena in downtown Salt Lake City for both the NHL and the NBA franchise, with also a unique written rule to build a 30,000 seating capacity, roughly. That was the number I was told. 30,000 seating capacity baseball stadium to tease and try to get the MLB to expand to Salt Lake City, Utah. And if I'm the MLB, I am praying Salt Lake City's authority agree to this, it gets signed, and we build the stadium. Because there's nowhere else to go. Where are you going to go that there's a lot of baseball fans? Because for years, that's the 30 teams in the MLB. You have a team in St. Louis. You have a team in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I don't even know. I don't even know where you would go. You can't go. There's a minor league team in Indianapolis, Indiana. You can't go there because that's the biggest stadium. And I'm pretty sure that's only like an 8,000 seater. I don't even know if it's double or triple A in Indiana. I don't even know. I don't even know where that is in Indianapolis, Indiana. All I know is there's like a swimming pool or something in the freaking outfield. What about San Antonio, Texas? I don't think they have a big enough stadium for baseball. There is not a lot of hope in the baseball world. Unless you bring back a team to Oakland. That's the only way I could see it. That's the only way. Unless in a couple years after the A's get moved to Vegas, you bring a team back to Oakland. Heck, maybe Sacramento, where the A's are going to play. Maybe that entices the MLB to go, let's build a stadium here. Let's get somebody to buy something. Let's bring a team to Sacramento. Put another team in California. Dude, at this point, I don't even know because it's so different and so unique. And for the people that don't know that, it's not an East and Western Conference thing. There's the AL and the NL. So there's teams in the East and West in both the AL and NL. So it wouldn't offset division-wise or conference-wise or whatever you want to call it. So it won't offset that. But what really could happen is the MLB, they need to expand. And the same with the NBA. The only league out of the 4 major leagues that is expanding is the NHL. They added the Vegas Golden Knights in 2017. They added the Seattle Kraken in 2022. They now have the Utah HC here in 2024. That's not expansion, but Salt Lake City was going to be an expansion city. Arizona couldn't go. The owner of the Coyotes gives the players and all that to the now owner of the Utah HC. The Coyotes are now frozen. But they already have ideas for Atlanta, Georgia. That would be the 3rd team in NHL history to play in Atlanta. There was the Atlanta Flames, and then there was the Atlanta Thrashers. The Atlanta Flames in the 80s, the Atlanta Thrashers in the 90s. They both ended up going to freaking Canada. The Flames went to Calgary, became the Calgary Flames. The Thrashers went to Winnipeg, became the Winnipeg Jets. Okay, Atlanta's a unique story. Quebec City, Quebec apparently wants a team. Another Canadian area is, I don't know if this is completely going to happen, but Hamilton wants a team. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't even know if that's a big enough Canadian city. But then you look at the East Coast, and you don't have no anywhere to put the NHL on the East Coast, so you have to kind of push out west a little bit and kind of expand out west and kind of make this weird central division mold. But there's a lot of cities that the NHL could work in because people want a team. Houston, Texas. They have the Rockets, they have the Texans, they have the Astros. They already have an ice plant installed where the Rockets play because they want a team. So I don't know what the NBA is doing, what the MLB is doing. They need to go. Now, NBA, it's already been rumored, and we're probably going to get a team in Seattle. Get back to Seattle Sonics. I don't know if they're going to be called the Seattle Sonics, but if they're not called the Seattle Sonics, it's a whole freaking problem. But the NBA, they need to go to Seattle. They need to put a team in Seattle. They need to put a team in Las Vegas. This is another thing. The MLB and the NBA, they've been rumored and teased and everything else about expansion, but they're not making the strides. Now, NFL-wise, the NFL has 32 franchises. They're tied with the NHL for the most franchises in a major 4 sports leagues. Okay? With 32. Here's the problemo. The NFL has nowhere to go. Because unlike the NHL, where they have teams in Canada, the NFL doesn't have teams in Canada. They don't have a team in Mexico. They don't have teams over there. They play overseas games. Why don't they have a team in Canada or Mexico? What I just said about the MLB. The problem with disposable income. You need to go to a city where people will be willing to go to a game, buy some food, buy tickets, buy food, buy merchandise. You need that at every single game. And the NFL has nowhere in the United States to go. There is a lot of big cities, but there are cities that are just not big enough to have an NFL franchise. Memphis might be the only city I could think, but you have the Tennessee Titans and Nashville, so you'd have 2 teams in Tennessee. Weird mix-up. The MLB, there is a lot of options on the East Coast, though, but there's nowhere to put a team. I'm talking the Carolinas, North and South Carolina. Charlotte, there's Charlotte is actually one that I kept hearing to put a team. The NHL's also been rumored about putting a team in freaking Cincinnati, dude. Cincinnati, Ohio. They have a team in Columbus. That's it. In the Ohio area. Columbus, Ohio. They don't have a team in Cincinnati. They don't have a team in Cleveland. They don't have none of that. Just Columbus. Now, could the NFL go to Columbus? No. The biggest outdoor stadium they have is the Columbus Crew. Could the MLB go? Maybe. I don't even know if Columbus is a baseball city. There is a lot of expansion in the NBA, in the MLB, like so many rumors. But the only league that has expanded in a while is the NHL. The NFL is the one behind it in 2002. Not talking weird we're not going to talk about the Charlotte Hornets 2009 NBA crap. The NBA needs to expand. The MLB needs to expand. Those leagues need to expand. The NFL, they can do whatever the hell they want. I don't even care anymore. The the NHL needs to step up and keep expanding. Most likely to get out of this expansion talk and wrap this whole thing up because I need to stop spieling. The NHL is probably going to go to Atlanta. Arizona's probably going to come back. Unique story with Arizona. Coyotes owner was going to get some land in Phoenix. He bid it on land. He was the lone bidder. Did not have the correct permit. He had the wrong permit. Dude, how do you have the wrong permit? That's freaking hilarious. Wrong permit for the Coyotes owner. Bidding was postponed. He now has to bid on it again later, pushing back the bid date. Whole thing. Whole freaking thing. I don't even know. But I think the Coyotes will come back. I think we're going to be in Atlanta in the NHL. So those are two cities I think that will come back, Phoenix and Atlanta. Canada-wise, I have no idea. I don't see Quebec City, Quebec coming back after those two for some reason. Maybe throw a team in somewhere on the East Coast. Maybe. Well, Charlotte has the Checkers, which is an AHL team. So now you have to start thinking, where on the eastern or central part of the U.S. could they put a team? Indianapolis, Indiana has the Indy Fuel of the ECHL, and where there's a minor league team comes a little bit of a problem. Utah HC, actually, they're playing where the Grizzlies play, and there's a lot of people who are like, we'll go watch the Utah HC, but the problem is like the Grizzlies play in a way nicer arena because that arena was built for hockey. So you got to also think of that. There's a big variety of things. Kansas City could be an option for the NHL as well. But out of expansion talks, I zip my lips and we roll the credits. Because I don't have anything else to really talk about. Sorry for about the 20-minute spiel of Derik going off about expansion cities. But I digress. Well, I think this will do it for the third episode of Bull Spitting with Clarky, or Derek Clark, or whichever way I'm going to keep going with that. I want to thank everyone who somehow in some way is still listening to this. Thank you all for tuning in. More vids on the way. It is a grind out here all summer. In the middle of nowhere, New York. Until then, keep it going, boys. That's all I can tell you. Until next time, guys. Peace.